This is meteorologist Rachel Nelson with an update on the severe weather we are expecting tonight, Saturday, May 25th, into tomorrow, May 26th. So we do have a moderate to enhanced risk for severe storms tonight, mostly overnight between the 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. time frame. We're expecting supercells to start initiating out in eastern Kansas and moving east into southwest Missouri. These supercells will pose a tornado threat as well as a large hail threat and a damaging wind threat as they move through the area. We are expecting these supercells to form somewhat of a line as they move into southwest Missouri, which will increase the damaging wind threat as they do that and slightly lower the tornado and large hail threat, although those will still be possible. These are the hazard probabilities broken down by severe hazard. So the hatching indicates that significant hazards are possible. So for hail, the hail probability, we are expecting quarter to baseball sized hail. So again, those baseball size, the upper end size hail will be with any supercells that will move in from the west, posing more of a hazard in the western portion of the region, hence the hatching over in the western portion. And then transitioning to smaller hail expected as the line forms and continues to move east. So hail will still be severe, quarter size, maybe up to larger than that. But the baseball sized, considerably sized hail is more likely off to the west on the Kansas-Missouri border. The wind probability is quite high. Our entire area is hatched, meaning that there is the potential for significant wind gusts of 74 miles per hour or greater. So that will be a threat both with the discrete supercells as well as with any lines that form out of those storms. Tornado probability, we also have some hatching over approximately the area where the discrete supercells are expected. Several tornadoes will be possible, as well as a few strong tornadoes with these storms. Here's the timeline of what we're expecting and what kind of storms and the hazards that those storms will be bringing, approximately where and at approximately when. So we're expecting this event to get started around 11 p.m., moving in from Kansas. We're expecting those storms to be supercell in nature, discrete, strong, large storms that will be capable of all severe hazards, tornadoes, large hail, extremely damaging winds. All of those threats are on the medium to high end of probability over in the eastern Kansas, western Missouri portion of the area. As the night progresses and we start to get closer to 2 and 3 a.m., those storms will start to move east and may start to line up a little bit more, increasing the wind threat, decreasing the tornado and hail threat a bit, but those will still be possible. And as we progress even further into the night, into the early morning hours of Sunday morning, the line will continue to move east through southern Missouri with the damaging winds, quarter-sized hail, and brief tornadoes still possible over in the eastern portions of the area. We also have a flood watch issued through 7 p.m. Sunday. So the flood watch begins 1 a.m. Tomorrow morning through 7 p.m. Tomorrow. We are expecting 1 to 3 inches of rain, especially in areas where thunderstorms move over the same area multiple times. Could drop up to 3 inches of rain, posing a flash flooding threat. Some localized areas could see even more rain, which would make the flash flooding even more likely. There's an area indicated there in central Missouri where flash flooding is even more likely. All of the counties in southwest Missouri as well as southeast Kansas are included in the flood watch for Sunday. The Sunday outlook is also, we have an enhanced risk over to the east, as well as a slight risk for most of the rest of the area. This setup tomorrow on Sunday, the severe hazards, the risk on Sunday will be largely dependent on how the atmosphere changes and responds to the storms that we are expecting today on Saturday night into early Sunday morning. We are still expecting storms on Sunday to move through. This risk is for all day on Sunday. So not just the early morning hours, remnants of the storms that we will be seeing tonight, but also additional development of storms later on Sunday. So we're also expecting hail and wind. There's a lower tornado threat with this setup. Here are the hazard probabilities. So we do have a hatched hail probability for Sunday. So we could see hail up to golf ball sized. We do have hatching in the east with the winds. So there is a threat for damaging winds everywhere, but also the additional threat for significant wind gusts, 74 miles per hour or greater over in the eastern portion of the area. And there is a tornado probability for a few brief tornadoes where none of the area in southwest Missouri is hatched. For tornadoes on Sunday, we have a 2 to 9% roughly chance of tornado. So few brief tornadoes will be possible on Sunday as well. The most important thing to think about and remember with these storms this weekend is that it is a holiday weekend. And if you are camping, if you're out on the lake, if you have outdoor plans, especially since this is an overnight threat where you're expecting storms tonight, Saturday night, shortly after dark, at 11 p.m. to midnight, things will start to move in from the west. And we are expecting very strong, very dangerous storms through the entire night Saturday into the early morning hours on Sunday. So if you're outside on the lake camping, be sure that you have somewhere to go when there is severe weather threatening. Make sure that there is a sturdy structure nearby that you can go to. RVs and trailers are not substantial shelter in these conditions. So make sure that you locate your sturdy structures that are nearby. Make sure you have ways to get warnings on radios, on phones. If you have any sort of TV setup, something like that, stay tuned to our web pages and our social media pages. We will be posting updates constantly overnight. Make sure that you have a plan, especially if you are outdoors this weekend for the holiday weekend. We have tons of additional resources that you can use to stay updated. Again, this is an overnight threat, and storms are inherently more dangerous overnight when people are asleep and aren't necessarily ready to act quickly. So be sure that you plan ahead. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have a way to get warnings. Make sure you have several ways to get warnings, especially if you are not at home this weekend, if you are outside on the lake or camping, celebrating the holiday weekend. Thank you so much, and we will keep you posted all through the night. And make sure you stay weather aware and be safe.